My name is Bethany Martin-Moore. I have hyperkalemic periodic paralysis, and I'm from Daytona Beach now. I was originally born in Maine, in a small town. I had my first attack when I was 35 years old, right after my third daughter was born. It was very difficult. We didn't know what had happened. So we were home and I just couldn't move my feet. I got up to go to the bathroom and I couldn't move. And my husband, thought, I just told him, he was a doctor, and I'm like, I can't move my feet, honey. And he's like, what's up? And he checked me, and he could move them, but I couldn't, and I couldn't move them. And we had 3 kids then, and we didn't know what to do. We didn't have a babysitter there at the time. It was 11 o'clock at night. So we didn't want to get 3 kids up and go to the hospital then, and he had to go to the hospital in the morning. So we decided if I could make it upstairs, we would go to sleep, and if I still had, wasn't working in the morning, that we would go to the hospital together. My husband had no clue what it was. And even being a doctor, it didn't help. He just didn't know. We went to the hospital and they had no idea. They ran tests and they couldn't figure it out. Then I went to another hospital and they ran more tests and they still couldn't figure it out. And they never gave us a diagnosis. They just didn't know what to do with me. They would try to induce the attacks and they couldn't induce them. I would have them, but they couldn't make them happen. And they didn't understand that either. So at first, when they don't understand it, they just send you to a psychiatrist. And if you refuse to go to a psychiatrist, then they say, she definitely needs a psychiatrist. So you go to a psychiatrist, and then a psychiatrist tells you there's basically nothing wrong with your head. I don't know what's wrong with your body, but you may have stress in your life anyway. And you go through that cycle over and over. I went through that cycle for 18 years, and that's so hard. So my husband, who is a doctor, he's a fantastic doctor. Everybody loves him. I mean, he's amazing. He's so smart. He was number 1 in his class. And me having this disease was so hard for him because he can solve so many people's problems, but he couldn't solve this. He couldn't figure this out. And that killed him. It was so hard for him. He wanted to solve it. He wanted to make me better. When he met me, I was better. I was I could do anything. I was one of those girls that just did everything. And so it was such a difference to see me, paralyzed and in attacks where I would be there for 20 minutes or an hour or days. And it killed our relationship. And I also got extremely mean at times when I would, your hormones and because your potassium is off, you just sometimes I would say things to my kids that would make me cry. And I didn't mean it. And my kids would try to ignore me, but it was just, that's what happened. But my husband couldn't handle it. And so we'd been married about 18 years, but we got separated and we've been separated ever since. And finally, I went to a doctor and she told me, she said, you have periodic paralysis. She listened to everything, my history, and she said, I think you have hyperkalemic periodic paralysis. She's in internal medicine, and the reason she was so perceptive she is a great doctor, but the reason she was so great was because her mom had a special illness that was what we call rare diseases. And so she had been around the mill with 1 million doctors for her mom. And so when I came to her and I'd already been to 1 million doctors, she was like, whoa, let's look at this more closely. And that's how she figured it out. When she listened to me, she just knew. I knew I wasn't crazy. I was a registered nurse. I had been a professional for a long time. I had a 40-bed unit in California that I ran. for oncology patients. I don't know. But finally she told me, she's like, no, I think you have hyperkalemic. She based that on talking to me and from 18 years of listening to everything I'd gone through. Like doing a physical assessment, she probably had labs back by then, blood work and things, but it was mostly, I think, because she listened so well. It's a disease that even in the books has like a half a paragraph back then. So it's just so rare. Everyone needs to know that when something just isn't normal and someone keeps having something that just seems so odd, don't just write them off as being crazy or a hypochondriac or some other thing. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Trust them. That's the reason I knew I had something wrong with me. I was a nurse. I was a good nurse. And I knew I wasn't faking it. I knew I wasn't faking it. So it didn't matter what everyone else knew. So I knew something was wrong. And people just need to listen to what people are saying. And remember that there are rare diseases, a lot of them, not just periodic paralysis. So many doctors won't take that step across the line and say, you are a zebra. Like, doctors are taught to listen to all people like horses, and all of us have hoofs. And so we're all considered horses. But there are also a few zebras, and those are the rare diseases. And a lot of doctors are they just don't listen for the zebras. And I think that she had a reason to listen. Like, her mom was a zebra, and so she had a reason to listen.
If you would like to know more about periodic paralysis, visit periodicparalysis.org. And if you enjoyed this video and want more, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss any future videos. It really does help spread the word. You can view other videos about periodic paralysis by clicking the thumbnails to the right. If you have questions, just leave a comment below or reach out to us on social media. We'd love to hear from you.